Let's get into a quick reaction now from Lord Meghnad Desai, who's been listening as well to that speech that's been made by Narendra Modi. Your initial reaction, Lord Desai, to some of those statements that have been made by him in that address, bowing down before the Constitution, and then in that speech touching upon a lot of those remarks which suggest to us what the priorities also for the government will be.
Yes, indeed. I think it was a very extensive, wide-ranging speech. It was addressing the new, especially the new MPs, warning them of how to behave, how not to get trapped. But for me, the most interesting aspect that he mentioned was about minorities. He especially said that minorities had been fooled and tricked all these years. Fear was created for them, but they did not benefit economically and socially from the people who thought they were friendly to the minorities. That is a very telling argument, because we know that the minority, especially the Muslims, have not advanced during the many years of Congress government. The Sachar report, actually commissioned by the Congress, showed that Muslims were socially and economically deprived. He didn't say the word Muslims, but he said minorities, and the message was clear. He was saying we are going to do as much for the minorities as for everybody else. He did not once make anything about majority-minority separation, and he said that we have to dedicate ourselves to the uplift of all the people. He mentioned Gandhi, Deen Dayal Upadhyay, and Lohya, and it was implicitly, it was the Antyodaya idea, that the uplift of the last, the most miserable person would be the aim of the government. And I thought, in a sense, this was a much more mature Narendra Modi. He now knows that he has delivered to the people of India. He has been rewarded by a larger majority, and he knows that what he did in his first 5 years was exactly what was needed by the people. And whatever his detractors may have said, that he had not done this, he had not done that, he had missed upon GST or demonetization or something like that, the people of the country knew what he was doing. They experienced it in their daily life, the improvements made by the government. They knew that when they got their entitlements, there was no middleman, no theft, no corruption, and it was a clean administration. And I think he got strengthened by the trust people put in him, and he knows that what he did in the first 5 years, he can do again. He will do it better, he will do it much more ambitiously, but he has now the confidence that he has the trust of the people. In 2014, he was a new thing. Nobody knew quite what he would do, and all sorts of scare stories were told about him. Oh, this man, was responsible for the riots, and he'll do this to Muslims and that and so on. But he stuck to his welfare program, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, and he is now added to Sabka Vishwas. Sabka Vishwas means he really wants to earn the trust of all the people, including the minorities. And all talks of Hindu nationalism and majoritarianism have to be set aside, and we have to see how much this man accomplishes. And I think everybody is going to be looking for fantastic progress from the Modi government 2.0, and I'm sure that he will deliver. But I was very impressed by how extensive and very heartfelt the speech was, and I think that shows a confident Modi who's willing to go the extra mile for the good of India.
Absolutely, and he's saying that the people of the country have reposed faith thanks to the hard work of each and every BJP worker. Lord Desai, he's also called it a pro-incumbency wave. I want to delve deeper into that, and that's obviously because the pollsters, analysts had called this an undercurrent election. It's been a wave of popularity that swept across the country, given the charisma of Narendra Modi. Is the clear takeaway from the historic mandate. Why do you think that many of those experts fail to see this as a wave election?
You know, Narendra Modi has a very strange sort of life. He is loved by the people but hated by the experts. You know, all the journalists and opinion makers and opposition MPs and so on, they just knew one thing: they didn't like Modi. They were willing to suspect the worst of him, and they wanted him to fail. They very much wanted to think that he will get less than 200. Indeed, the night of the 22nd of May, the day before the votes were counted, I was at a dinner party in Delhi, where people were saying 185 is the limit of what he's going to get. And I was saying, no, at least 240. They said, no, never, he will never. And so everybody then wanted an explanation of why they did not see it. So it's something invisible. It's undercurrent. It's not an expected wave. It's not a tsunami that they thought happened in 2040. It's all undercurrent. Of course, he had failed. Jobs were not created. This was not done. That was not done. How could this man win? And they completely missed the fact that deep down the reforms had gone. It had touched the last person. They had not realized the importance of Swachh Bharat. They had not realized the importance of Ayushman Bharat and all the many schemes that he had been pursuing: electrification, rural housing, toilets, all those things. And the experts just did not know that this thing had been happening. They were much too busy looking at what they had thought had not happened. The people knew, and I think so he is doubly assured that he can now ignore the people who want him to fail, who want him to fall short, because then they say, you see, we told you he is no good. I mean, even a few days before the election, Manishankar Iyer came and said the same thing again. Other people said he is not going to succeed. And then when it happens that they are wrong, they say, this was undercurrent because we did not see it. There's no undercurrent, nothing. It's a matter of record of what the 2014-2019 Modi government had done. If they only had looked at its number of schemes, its achievements, the growth rate was very good, the inflation rate was down. How could, in a world like that, there could be economic disaffection? I don't understand. I'm a trained economist, and I can't understand this talk about jobless growth. But the people knew what their life experience was. He had delivered. And so they may look for this or that explanation, but the explanation is pretty straightforward. Reach the farthest person away, the deepest into the masses, and you will be rewarded for what you have done. Look after the people, and the people will look after you. And that, I think, is what Modi has achieved. And I think, he has always been a controversial person. The Time magazine did not like him, and the Economist magazine did not like him, and the Guardian newspaper doesn't like him. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. What matters is what the people of India think. The people of India have shown 39% vote share, many more seats this time than last time, many more seats to the NDA, and a program which I'm sure he will implement thoroughly, and India will be several steps up to being a poverty-free country and a country with a medium level of income and a substantial welfare state. I think that is his program, and I think he'll achieve it.
All right, and the government has to work and move ahead with new energy and zeal is the word coming in from Prime Minister Narendra Modi as he addressed the elected members of Parliament, the NDA leaders, the BJP leaders, just a short while back in the Central Hall of the Parliament. As we speak, there are bouquets that are coming his way from several of those leaders. Remember, this is also the first time that all the NDA leaders have gotten together post that historic mandate. So it's celebration in a way of that trust that has been reposed by the people in the NDA, in the BJP and in Narendra Modi. We're going to leave it there for the moment. Lord Desai, I appreciate very much you joining us on the broadcast and delving deeper into a lot of those remarks and statements that have been made by the Indian Prime Minister in that comprehensive speech that was made by him just a short while back that concluded in the Central Hall of the Parliament. Narendra Modi has been elected as the leader of the NDA unanimously, and shortly before that speech he bowed down before the Constitution and declared that this is a victory of the people and the start of a new era. We're going to take a very short break at this point. That remains our continuing focus. Stay with us.